The Locked On NFL podcast is now on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe so you can get great daily content, just like you can get great daily YouTube content from Locked On Bucs. And this was a game that I did not expect to talk about, at least feature on the podcast on Monday, because it was a showdown between the Bucs, who are one of the top teams in the NFC, and the lowly New York Jets. But the Bucs struggled a little bit more than we anticipated with the Jets. They had the rally past gangrene 28-24, but the biggest story from this game was one of the embattled receiver that is Antonio Brown, absolutely just throwing a temper tantrum in the middle of this game and pretty much ending his Bucs career. To talk about is David Harrison. David, what the heck went down? Can you give us the play-by-play of Antonio Brown pretty much ending his tenure with Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I mean, essentially what happened, Bo, is that during the third quarter, Bruce Arians at one point had asked Antonio Brown to go into the game. They're trailing, they were down by 2 scores at the time, trying to mount a comeback on the road and continue their winning ways as they continue to jockey for what they hope is going to become eventually a number one seed in the NFL playoffs, the NFC playoff picture. We'll see if that comes to fruition. And AB basically, refused to go back in the game. So BA at that point kind of just left him alone. They were driving down the field, and BA tried to get AB to go back in the game. A second time, he again refused. So Bruce Arians basically told him, "Look, if you're not going to go in the game, if you're not going to play, just leave. Just completely leave the field. If you're going to pull yourself out of the game." And AB decided that was how he was going to exit the field. I mean, truth be told, if he just gets up and walks in the locker room, there's probably still drama, and everybody's wondering if he's injured and all this stuff. And maybe the team covers and says, "Yeah, his ankle was kind of acting up, so he's not going to play the rest of the game." But he basically left, and nobody any wiggle room to cover for him or to make any excuses for him the way that he left the field. And Bruce Arians was asked, as expected, right after the game, what the deal was with Antonio Brown, and he said in no uncertain terms he's no longer a Buck.
There you go. It's as simple as that. And I mean, just ethered the bridge between him and the Buccaneers, which it wasn't on, as far as it was a pretty, the relationship wasn't in good standing already. He had
Right.
the vax card and all that earlier this season. He missed a couple games with that. I'm sure the organization wasn't too happy there. Um, what does it do as far as the team going forward? I mean, they have obviously Mike Evans as far as a wide receiver. Does the roster take a hit is without having Antonio Brown in the lineup moving
Yeah, I
forward?
mean, from a football standpoint,
Yeah,
between the
football.
lines, obviously, Antonio Brown is one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL to this day, and there's no denying that personality or potentially mental health, set aside, he is truly one of the most talented wide receivers to play the game. But there comes a certain point in time, and I think Terry Bradshaw said it on the Fox Sports broadcast that eventually your personality outweighs your talent, and that's basically what AB has done here in this situation. So the roster is going to take a hit, and then losing Chris Godwin for the rest of the year to the knee injury, last week is obviously going to hurt even more after this. And it's one thing after another. But at the end of the day, you saw Mike Evans, Cyril Grayson has stepped up huge in the last two games, back-to-back games with 81 yards receiving, and today he catches the game-winning touchdown pass from Tom Brady. So that's positive. Scotty Miller, if anybody watched the NFC playoffs last year, they saw what he's capable of doing on a play-to-play basis. Tyler Johnson still kind of in the mix there, and look, Terrell Owens actually tweeted out hashtag playoff Terrell at the Buccaneers. So I mean, Le'Veon Bell is scoring for 2-point conversions at the end of
Yeah.
this game. You never know. Maybe Terrell Owens makes a comeback, but at the end of the day, the team is going to come together. Rob Gronkowski kind of talked about that after the game, is just lean on each other as a family, as a team within the locker room. And BA has already shifted his focus to the guys playing the game, not the guys who used to play the game.
Yeah, it's crazy the incentives that Antonio Brown AB was going to cash in on. I think he was just very close to making 333,000 for a couple different incentives. Really,
Right.
just cost himself a ton of money. Real quick, as far as the actual game that was played, they did rally back. They did win. They did keep themselves in position to win the NFC. They're third now. They move up from fourth. They're
Mhm.
behind the Rams at 2 and the Green Bay Packers at 1. What was it? Was it the Jets just came out on fire? Or was this team just complacent, not ready to play as far as the Bucks go?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on, and just kind of steal a quote from the other team that I cover, the Washington football team. Head coach Ron Rivera says these are real people, and expletive happens, and these are people. They're not robots, So you have Sean Murphy Bunting and Jamel Dean, two of the starting cornerbacks who were on the COVID list, tested negative on Sunday, got cleared to play, or Saturday got cleared to play, had to take a private flight. They had weather delays. They didn't even show up till the game was already underway. trying to warm up on the side of the field. No Jason Pierre-Paul, no Shaquille Barrett. So there's a lot of reasons why the defense was a little bit flustered to begin with. But I think what you see as the game progresses is the team kind of settles in. They rely on their leadership, being on the coaches on the sidelines and on the field as well. They just kind of stay within the scheme as it's designed for them to be successful, and rely on the goat to do goat things, and that's exactly what happened.